True intellect and reason, demigods and demigoddesses of the blue planet. Peace to you all. I'm going to start off with some information from the introduction to the Nature of Nature Book 2. And what it is covering is the moon and hermaphrodites. Okay. Hermes is the son of Zeus. Okay. Hermes is considered a Chthonic god, underworld god, leader of underworld spirits. Hermes was also called the shepherd god, or the good shepherd, like Jesus Christ. Okay. I'm also going to show you, when I read this piece, how Khonsu Ray El Bey corrupted the information and used it for deception and used it as leverage and power to further go at the Nuwaubians in a negative way. Listen to reason. The moon of our planet Earth is basically neuter gender, but does have enough male and female materials, powers, and energies to produce beings called the moon god and moon goddess by brain concentrations. And the moon also produces hermaphrodites by way of mind and spirit beings. Okay, we know that hermaphrodites have both male and sex genitalia. Of course, hermaphrodites are persons who are homosexual, bisexual, or anyone who indulges in a combination of unnatural or diverse practices sexually. The word hermaphrodite stems from the root word Hermes. Okay. And Hermes can stem, also known as Mercury, can stem or does stem from the Latin word merx, which means merchandise, merchant, and commerce. Merx is over the word merchant, merchandise, and commerce. Okay. The word hermaphrodite stems from the root word Hermes, and Hermes is the Greek version or name for the moon god. In other words, Hermes is the moon god, Caucasian style, or in the nature of the Caucasian race. Let it be remembered always, and let it be known. Let's state for the record that Hermes is being associated with the moon god in the Caucasian style, or in the nature of the Caucasian race. Listen to reason. Our moon Sin. Sin is one of the ancient names of the moon and moon god. Our moon was never known as NoopooH. Originally had lakes and rivers of water until the suns in the universe died scientific death 18 million years ago. When the writer states that the moon produces hermaphrodites, he means on planet Earth by way of mind and spirit, because there was never any major life organisms on the moon because of its status as being neuter gender. And when the moon lost its water to planet Earth at 0.6 west, the beginning of evolution and death on the smash circle of order 18 million years ago, the moon stopped turning on its own axis and started dragging through space instead of rolling, and thereby became an outstanding opposition to the sun, and increasing so until the end of the moon cycle, which is at the present time being at the marking of year 1962. Let it be remembered always and known. Listen to reason. Although the moon will gradually come back to positive life as time passes, it will not regain its water and start turning on its own axis again until the smack circle of order reaches 0.6 east, nearly 18 million years from now, all satellites of planets were not produced the same way our moon was. Some moons were produced by their planets by help of the sun, like the female nebulas produce the true stars, the suns. Anyway, the main point of knowledge to remember is this: the universes grew to be what they are by manifestations and activities of male and female powers and energies in matter already existing, following the lines of reason, 9 reason, who are the original processes of intelligence, law, and order. Let it be remembered always. Okay, so this is where Khonshu Bey took the information to go hard at the Nuwaubians when there was some information released under the Nuwaubian camp speaking about homosexuals. Khonshu Bey should know better because he's dealing with a hermaphrodite and his family. Okay? The information shouldn't be used in a negative fashion. You cannot corrupt the information. You cannot add to the information. Take away from the information. And that's why I read from the introductions to the nature of nature, because when you see how Khonshu Bey teaches, he teaches in a way where he's giving you myth and mythology and fantasy and imagination, and he hardly comes from the books, right? When he doesn't know the information, he makes it up. And when he doesn't know, this is when he should go to the books. So that's the breakdown on hermaphrodites. Introduction to the Nature of Nature, Book 2. And for the record, Khonshu or Kinzu is the moon god, and that is your name, given to you by Dr. Malachi.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing today? Welcome to my live. So I'm here with my homeboy Tumamoon. I'm in my neighborhood with my Nuwaubian friend and Rahubat. Hello. So today we're going to teach a lesson, and one of the lessons is we're going to teach about gays. And the reason why I wanted to share this, guys, with you all is because I wanted you guys to really understand the history of homosexuality and gayness on this planet. So, Amun, tell us what you know about the gays on this planet.
Right now, this is a hot topic. It's very prevalent that we know what we're talking about when we talk about homosexuality. We're not talking about the religious homosexuality that you see with the Bible, the misinterpretation of Sodom and Gomorrah, but more so if you go to Africa, androgynous beings or neutersexual beings were at the forefront of creation when it came to the African mysteries or the African ancient text. When you come into ancient Egypt, these were, for lack of a better word, these were the precursors of our race, essentially. Like,
so they were the first people here, right?
The first beings, neutered. And they were both. So in our language, Sabbatic, we say Muknash Tatu for a male hemorphodite, and Muknash for a male hemorphodite. So it's two, not necessarily, you have one aspect where they have a phallus, a penis, and a vagina as well. Mm-hmm. These beings, that's like a more so of a deformity. What we're talking about is a spiritual aspect. So most homosexual people, I want to get the right term, I don't want to say gays, but most homosexual people,
male gays.
Right.
We talking about
and
male.
females as well.
But who was the first beings here? Male gays? The females? Okay, but they were gay first. How can men make babies with men?
No.
So you need a female.
Yeah, that's it. She was the first. She was here thousands of years before the male even got here.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. So, if the females were gay as well as males, right? Mm-hmm. Is it safe to say that there's a planet where females are from and then there's a planet where males are from?
Yes.
Okay, so on the planet where males are from, how are those males? And the only reason why I'm being devil's advocate right now, because I want to give him the opportunity to answer questions that I know that's in your head. I already know the answers, but I'm trying to ask him questions that I know you guys are asking. How, if a woman is from another planet, right? If women are from another planet, they started off gay. And what planet was that the women were from?
That was Sirius.
That was Sirius? Okay, and what planet where the men were gay, where are they from?
It was a star constellation. There's different planets, but it was through the Orion constellation. So
okay,
in ancient Egypt, what people gotta understand, when you see the pyramids, one of the 7 wonders of the world, right? You see these pyramids, and they're geocentrically aligned with 2 particular constellations, that's Sirius and Orion. Now, there's rightfully so, because these beings are where they're hailed from. These were the first star constellations, were beings when they first descended down to Earth to set up Egypt and certain kingdoms you see even in Sudan. These were the star systems that they were coming from. So that's why we call ourselves Sabians. The word Saba is found in the glyphs, and it's to denote a pylon, a gateway, or a stargate. And we pray Halu to the Sirius star. So there's a priest, a Zulu priest, Zulu shaman, Sonosi, get the correct term, goes by the name of Ogotumelu. Now, he's a part of the Dogon, right? Dogon tribe, the Dogon priest. When they came to sit down with him, he was giving them information about the Sirius star constellation that they was baffled. Caucasians were baffled. These were 2 Caucasians when they made the trip there to sit down with the tribe. They were baffled of how he knew this information. And this is what we try to teach to others. It's not necessarily that you have to have a laboratory.
So how do gay men procreate?
It's necessarily co-creation. They exist as far as the etheric or on the spiritual level. So there is more so of an existence. And these beings, their job necessarily is to facilitate life. And gay, when we say gay, don't think of they only are attracted to men necessarily. So that's a sexual behavior. So now if I were to point out what I'm talking about, a Muknash Tat, right, a hermaphrodite within the Egyptian cosmology, they had a being by the name of Akhenaten, right? He was, or they call him Amenhotep Paraben IV. He took the seat in ancient Egypt in the 19th dynasty. This was the father of who you call the King Tut, one of the most famous pharaohs. When he took the seat, he had wives. He had female wives.
But you know, back in ancient times, they would only hire gays as the messengers, the relics. They would have the important jobs like in courts and anything that had to do with decision making. They would only hire gay men to do these jobs. So it's very important that we as people, we align ourselves with the gay community. We learn from them, we talk to them, because they are the first humans here on
And so
Earth.
now there's a book everybody has to get, Spiritual Intimacy by Sabonfu Some, right? She's from the Dagara tribe.
Say that again and spell that for them.
Spiritual Intimacy. It's an African origin of teachings on spiritual intimacy. That's the book. You look at it on Amazon, you can find it by Sabonfu Some. She's from the Dagara tribe. And the last chapter is called Gatekeepers. This is what we call these beings. We don't say homosexual. We don't say hetero. No. These are gatekeepers. And the reason being, in Africa, right? Not now, because they kill gays over there now. In Africa, essentially, if you were a gatekeeper or if you was homosexual, you was put at the forefront of the culture or the forefront of the tribe. These were the counselors of the tribe, and they had the utmost respect. So she's tying in because the Dagara tribe in Burkina Faso in Africa, they actually have a lot of their oral traditions still intact. So she kind of lets you know, like, look, y'all might look at them like this in America, but that's not how we look at them. Homosexual in their tribe is so respected because if you come to this person as a female, they can understand life because they experience that, right? But then if you come to them as a male, where problems are, and they can guide you that way because they have a double portion or double spirit, so to speak. So they can vibrate on the male and the female. Now, when it comes to scientific,
now I want to ask you a question. Are you gay?
No, I'm not.
No, that's your wife right over there, right?
Yes,
so this is his wife.
How you doing?
So this is a straight man right now that's teaching you guys how important it is to align yourself with homosexuals. He doesn't want to call them homosexuals because it's not the proper term, but of course on my live we speak in layman's terms. Now, somebody said this sounds like Dr. York bullcrap. Okay, let me ask you something. Anybody who wants to sit up here and argue, you're free to come online and we will definitely debate.
So now, right, check this out. What people gotta understand too, on a scientific level, you know, homosexuals see more colors than the average human person. So on a scientific level, it's a reason for that, because now these people, that spiritual aspect of it, whenever people talk about Egypt, we put
Somebody said you a faggot. He said Batimandat. No,
we put it on the Dendera, on the star map, and these were at the 4 cardinal points of the Dendera star map. It's deep, it's a science,
right?
But they was trying to show you that these beings were highly divine, super intelligent. And if people keep it G, like, you know, most men, it's because the Caucasian came to America and they started giving this stigma on homosexuality, and most men aren't comfortable in their sexuality, honestly. And that's why when it comes to gay men, even gay women, they're not comfortable, because they're not comfortable within themselves. But if you really pay attention,
somebody said homosexuality is going against nature. Answer that.
Okay, so now on the animal kingdom, you know, if you go study nature, that's what
so lions
important.
Are gay,
right? And giraffes,
and giraffes.
And so when you study, you got monkeys too. A lot of different animals practice this, but now we have to say, why is that? And it's natural occurrence.
And he doesn't usually do live, so I'm kind of helping him with this, because live, he's usually teaching classes, but live is more of an interaction. So I'm reading the questions while he's going in. But let me let y'all know something too. I don't suggest that any of you go out there and be gay if you don't feel it. If you're not seeing different colors like gay people who are born gay, if you're not attracted to your same sex, if you're not going to be in love with somebody who's the same sex as you, do not be gay. Do not be gay for a fad, okay?
Now we say this, right? There's 2 different classifications.
You said God made Adam and Eve. We're going to talk about Adam and Eve.
You got hormone sexual, right? Which is people who they just want to find different sexual pleasure. So they're claiming or trying to be gay because they want to feel another aspect of sexuality. That's not what we're talking about. We are talking about people who come out of the womb gay, homosexual.
Right.
And they can't help it if they try. This is something that it's just in them innately. And it's a part of nature.
Those are special people.
Right. And so when it came to this planet, this is how we teach it. And even in Africa, they talk about this. The first beings were homosexual or androgynous, right? Neutered beings. So at this point, females, before there was even a man on this planet, was already procreating. They call it as asexual reproduction. You see this with the hammerhead sharks and the whip-tailed lizard, which is an all-female species. So now you have to say, okay, if this is an all-female species, how are they procreating? And there's a Bartholin gland, right, within a female, which is latent now in most females, which my sister was touching on due to chemtrails and different things that they're putting into the foods and stuff like that. But in her natural state, her body will produce seminal fluids
to make a baby by myself.
To actually make a baby. And so at that point, you didn't even need a man on this planet. So a man was necessarily like a deformity.
It says Nuwaubians advocate homosexuals. No, Nuwaubians do not advocate homosexuality.
Listen, it's 2019. You can say that. Listen, we people, it's nature, right? And so we're, as an animist, I pray halu to nature. I find it in nature. So most people, they're under that belief system because of the religious stigmas that they've been taught. Because most people, they don't eat, like, let's say we're talking about the Bible. Most people are not at the guys that Adam and Eve was the first human beings. And so now if you say that, right, you have to say, well, where did black people come from? Adam and Eve are Caucasian.
So let me ask you this question. I'm a straight woman. I love men, right? Mm-hmm. If I'm married to a man and I find out my man is cheating on me with a man, should I leave him? Should I do it just as much as if he was cheating on me with a woman?
It's up to you. That's personal. That will have to be at your discretion.
Okay, because I think that if a man cheats on you with a woman or whether he cheats on you with a male, it doesn't matter whether it's a male or woman. Cheating is cheating. If you can accept your man, if just like you people who are in relationships where the relationships he can have more than one wife. I'm asking, you know how the people have them open relationships? What do we call those? Polygamy. So let's say your sister wife is a man. Do you think that's okay to have a sister wife as a man?
What do you mean sister wife?
Like, okay, so let's say you believe in, let's say you and her are married, right? Mm-hmm. And I wanted to get married to you too. And me and her become sister wives. Now you got 2 wives. Mm-hmm. Suppose I was a boy. Is that okay?
No, that couldn't work. I mean, couldn't work? It couldn't work with me, personally.
I know people are asking this, but I mean, is it okay? Is it politically correct to do that?
I mean, listen, when it comes to stuff like that.
Like Brother Polite, for example, he has like 5 wives, right? Or 4? What if one of those wives was a man? Would that be appropriate?
If that was what he wanted to do with his relationship. See, like, check this out. We don't see as beings. I don't try to get into people's bedrooms.
Women get our polygamy, or exactly. Go ahead.
See, we don't try to get into people's bedrooms. So what we have to understand is that's something that's sacred. When you get into sex, that's sacred. Mm-hmm. That's between a man and a woman who or whether they want to make it legal or not, they can get into that. But now, at this point, if this man and this woman, if he likes to get his toes licked, that's his business. You know what I'm saying? He get his toes licked. You know, so that we don't really get into that too much.
Mental and spiritual.
Yeah. And then there's the physical side, but there's also the scientific side. And when it comes to the scientific side, we do urge most females to get with a man who knows what he's doing in the bedroom. Because when you get to the science of sex, most females have to have certain experiences sexually.
Look, somebody says, Star, you're intelligent. What are you asking that for? You know the answer. No, it's not that. It's not that. It's not about. I'm hosting this and I'm facilitating this.
Because she could be right here. She could teach too.
I'm playing.
She goes hard.
I'm playing devil's advocate. And you said same sex is wrong, Mr. Nizar. It is not wrong.
No,
same sex is not wrong. In America, it is. In Western culture, what I think is wrong, and I was just conversating with this young man and his wife earlier. Now, I do think that I know I don't have a gay bone in my body. I would never ever be attracted to a woman because I wasn't born that way. My makeup is not that. So for me to just go out here and just be a lesbian because everybody else is a lesbian, to me, I think, in my opinion, that's wrong. But if I was just a lesbian altogether and I couldn't help myself, I think that that's a blessing, because those type of people on that vibratory rate, they have been existing here longer than anyone. Is it safe for me to say that, Amun? Mm-hmm. And that's what I've been telling y'all. But because he's more scholarly and more articulate in the way that he teaches as opposed to me, I wanted him to get on my live, and I want him to explain to you guys in a more articulate way.
With that, and like I said, it's 2019, so what people gotta understand, I'm a Sabian, right? I was just coming from work and stuff. We ran into the sister at the little restaurant, so I'm not in my culture.
But they've known me for a minute,
and so I'm not in my culture type. But you know, the thing about Sabians, the information is not prevalently known, because when Dr. York touched down back in the 1970s, he was talking about extraterrestrials and all this other stuff. And now people be like, "Oh, that's spooky. That sounds crazy." Listen, they can't tell me that. I got so much information on extraterrestrials. The United States, you know, has seen extraterrestrials. They're in contact with extraterrestrials. You know, a lot of people that work in government bodies are extraterrestrials. You know, so you're not gonna tell me that they're spending billions in NASA to go study extraterrestrials, and they have Area 51s, which has 51 levels, and these are facilities, multi-billion-dollar facilities that they're investing in, and they don't think the extraterrestrials are real. So for the common people, you know, it's fine, because a lot of people aren't gonna understand what's really going on in the world today. You know, and it's deep. You know, it's really deep. So that's why the ancient Egyptians were trying to tell you, if you was a pharaoh.
Somebody said, would you be, no disrespect, would you be okay with your son being with a man star? You talking about aliens now. Would I be okay with my son being with a male? I'm okay with my son being happy. Whatever makes my son happy, I'm with it. I will never stagnate the happiness of my child. Now, if someone molests my child and veers him a certain way, then to be honest with you, my child is a spirit. See, our children are loaned to us through the universe. Each and every one of us are spirits. We really own ourselves, and we come through certain vessels because that's what we chose to do. So let's say my son is 11 right now. He has no history of being molested, but 11 years old, Jews have their bar mitzvahs around 12. 12 means they become an adult. So at this point, he's already got it calculated in his head what he's going to be. And the reason why I'm going to tell you this, I have a cousin that I grew up with. God bless the day. He got killed when he was 25. He was actually molested at 11, and he grew up hating men because he didn't have a gay bone in his body, and he couldn't understand why him. So he became very promiscuous, and he became a player, and he had a bunch of girls because he got molested. So he wasn't gay, right? So now my son, for example, I don't believe that he's gay, because if he was, I would have seen it already. So if he was to get molested on, then I would probably have to murder somebody. I would have to probably go to jail for murder. But if he's already naturally a homosexual, then so be it. That's my child. I have to live with that. So does that answer your question? Because if it doesn't, you can elaborate. But I mean, I'm not going to have a problem if my child is born gay and that's what he want to do.
Them children is so deep. That's in the same book that I quoted, Spiritual Intimacy by
And I want one second, and I wanted to tell y'all this too. When I was 11 years old, I was propositioned by a lesbian woman myself. behind my mama back, behind everybody back, and I joined the military at 17, and I was also propositioned by a few lesbians at 17. But because I wasn't born gay, I didn't want to participate. And I have very close gay friends now. So I think if it's in you, it's in you. I don't think it's something that you could just be talked into. Okay, so Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was saying with your son, with any child, you understand people have purpose to do it when they come here. Some people have a calling and they come, and we all say we pay homage to being an incarnation or a spiritual celestial being having a physical experience. So in the Dagar tribe, they have a naming ritual. Most stuff that happens in Africa, if you're accustomed to American teachings, a lot of stuff that we teach as Sabians, a lot of stuff that Africans teach, it sounds magical or spooky to them. So they have what they call a naming ritual. This is when a priest, you go to a priest, about 3 priests, and they'll do a ritual with the pregnant female. And when they do the ritual, the child, as the fetus state in the fetus, he takes on the mother's voice, and through the ritual, they start asking their questions. And they ask, what's your purpose for coming? And based on the answer, or how the child answers when it's taking over the mother's voice, how it answers, they'll give them a name, rightfully such. So say if this name was, you're given the name Shaka, and this means one of gardening, right? Because you told them you're going to come give agriculture to the planet Earth. They would name you that, and then since your whole birth, that song or that name itself, because being music, it's a name. Music is a tone. The name is music. And once you get that name, denoting what you're coming to do, you said you wanted to come bring down agriculture. So you're going to come show millions how to feed themselves off of plants, right? Or you're going to be a healer. So they will name you rightfully so. So this is deep because a child, even in that tribe, they don't see why.
And then wait, let's pause because you're getting real deep for them, man. We online, so it's short spurts of attention spans. But I did want to say this too. All of you guys out there that's eating meat, if you're not eating female chicken breast, but you're eating the male chicken, then you could be gay too. You're sitting here eating pig's ass, that could be a male ass, and you eat it ass. You sitting here eating salami, that could be a chicken's dick, and you eating chicken dick. Y'all really have to, no sin's a way. There's no sin better than the other. You can't say that this is all right to do, but this is not all right to do. If you could sit here and kill animals and swallow them down and lick the juice off of them and lick all their cum and their molestation and all that shit, hot slava and all that, you're no better than a gay person.
And original Africans was vegetarian.
And the original what?
Africans was vegetarian.
And I've already explained this to them. I said we came here on a vegan diet. We didn't come here eating meat. I told them that I was arguing about this the day before yesterday because they was like, oh, how you wearing leather shoes and wearing leather bags but you don't eat meat? I said because the humans were not made to eat meats. But guess what? When animals pass away every day just like humans, and when they used to pass away, our ancient ancestors used to slit the skin off of them and make rugs and make blankets and make shoes,
drums,
and make hut leaves and drums and all types of shit. So don't ever come at me and tell me, oh, you're a vegan, why you wearing leather shoes? Because our ancient ancestors were vegan and they wore leather shoes. Okay? But you don't necessarily have to kill an animal to make garments from an animal. But we as human beings, we are not made to ingest animals. So now if you're ingesting an animal, man, and that animal is a male animal, then you're having sex with a male. You take the pure of the animal and look at now Negroes fighting over that Popeyes. Man, Africans eating wild animals forever. They say Africans is eating wild animals forever. So why do lions eat meat?
A lion is a meat eater. A lion, that's
Did you see
nature.
the teeth?
Yo, you know what's funny is a lion.
A lion's a cat. They from a whole nother fucking planet. They not even a lion. Cats are not from planet Earth. They're not solar beings. A lion is a cat. Those aren't those other aliens or something. Those are like reptilians or some shit like that, right?
And they said the cat was symbolic of like strength, power. So you saw a lot of the Egyptians. They was basing their teachings off of animals. So the animal, the lion per se, what's so deep about the lion is the roar.
Right.
The roar is powerful because if you essentially look at a lion, it doesn't strike you as fearful necessarily, but when they hear that roar, that tone,
and they gay as
that
hell.
Tone.
Lions are gay as hell. Lions don't even want to have sex with the female. Lions don't even want to have sex with a female lion unless it's making a baby.
But check this out. If I'm a man,
and did you know a lion only has sex with a female, with that female one time, and then they go find it. After they have a male lion, once he only has sex with the female once. That's it. And then he's off to the next female. He's never gonna have sex with a female lion with one female lion more than once. But he'll have sex with male lions over and over and over again. Y'all better study the lion kingdom, so don't bring up lions on here, because lions is nothing but little gay animals, and they only want to have sex with the female just to make a child, and that is it. And they don't have sex with that female particular lion more than one time.
And they don't need no laws, no contracts, no marriage. It's nature.
Yep. Somebody said that's how man should be. My dog looks like a lion. Why? That's why you see me gay, guyish.
So you think I need more questions? Any more questions? Taking questions.
Yeah, we taking questions. Come on, Star. You're so much chicken and I'm straight. He said I eat so much chicken, I'm straight. That makes sense, because more I'm getting spiritual, the more I'm leaning towards vegan. Good job. The moon is the influence. Somebody said the moon is a being. Okay, so somebody said the moon is a being, the moon is an influence. Do you want me to talk about that, or you want to?
The moon is not there. The moon is a craft. It's blue.
I was just about to tell you that.
The moon that they see is been gone millions of years ago.
That's a ship. The moon is a ship. That's nothing but a ship in it.
Yeah, and that's when they did the belt. When they shot the crater, or it was the cartridge of one of the Apollos, one of the satellites, and they shot at the moon, and it rang like a bell, and they found out it was hollow.
And also, when they shot the moon, the little holes that's in the moon, this planet was a freshwater planet. There was no salt here. The salt in our water comes from sediments from the moon. When they shot the moon, the sediments is what created salt water here. Did you guys know that?
That's me.
So this is actual natural freshwater planet. That salt is not normal. It's not natural to planet Earth. Y'all stop believing this crazy shit, huh?
It's just to be building, y'all.
I've been studying for years, and he has too. And the thing about the youth, because these are the new ones coming up. I like to hang around them when I can and talk to them, because I know for a fact that they're more advanced than I'll ever be right now at this point, because as time progresses, things get a little faster, they get more advanced. But I'm already set in my little ways, so y'all might hear me talk. But when the young ones talk, this young man, because they're not children, and the young woman talks, I have to sit back and take that seat and let them, go in, because we're getting more advanced. And that's what a lot of you adults my age and older, this is where y'all make y'all mistake in messing up the minds of our youth. Y'all are not giving them the opportunity to grow. As a parent, you're supposed to make the child better than you were. And we're all each other's children. Just because I'm not physically his mother, I'm still his mother. Just because I'm not physically her mother, I'm still her mother. So we are supposed to want our children to become better than us. That makes the planet evolve. Life is about evolution. Okay, life is about evolution. This is why I don't live in Atlanta, Georgia anymore. I love my mom. I tell you this all the time, but she wasn't allowing me to grow. My mom didn't want me to leave the nest. I'm 40 years old. I can't sit there and be 12 years old forever. Okay, that's just a little example. Where do we follow this young man? I knew y'all was going to ask that, so I told him before we got online to make sure that he gives you guys his Instagram name so that y'all can follow him. And go ahead and give it.
Yeah, that's Pod. You can spell it out?
You can type it. Yeah, okay. You type it. I'm gonna let you.
It's
you're gonna tell him and type it.
Yeah.
And you're gonna come with me too.
That's our Instagram for our sanctuary out here.
Okay.
I don't have my personal one because I be ripping and running too much.
Okay, so the Instagram is
let me see.
Oh, it's a P?
Yeah, Pa McDash.
Pa McDash.
Pa McDash, the sanctuary. That's in Brooklyn, New York. It's a historical landmark, right? The building's been there for quite some time, but it's an Egyptian-style temple.
Somebody said evolution and destruction is chaos. Oh, no, honey. Evolution and destruction is not chaos. Life is ever-changing. The planet cannot rotate if the energy doesn't evolve.
Mr. Nice Guy, am I selling weed? No, I don't sell weed.
We don't do weed.
Marijuana. Look, marijuana, we don't even consider marijuana as a drug, for say. You know, a lot of the drugs that they see here, they're tainted, but in its purest form, they was used as ritual.
Okay, so I was just talking, and I'm glad y'all brought that up, and I'm glad you brought that up, Mr. Nice Guy, because we just had a conversation about marijuana on my live 2 days ago. So this is what I'm going to intercede with. Like he said, marijuana is medicinal, but what I told you guys, if you smoke it, then you're killing your oxygen, and that's what you call carbon dioxide. So you don't want to smoke marijuana unless our ancient ancestors who smoked marijuana, they were shamans and they were priestesses and they were medicine women, and they did that to look at the deities, the ancient deities and ancestors inside of the smoke. But if you're not gifted to do that, then you should be drinking weed or baking it in your pastries and eating it that way. The smoking is not made for the average commoner.
Yeah, the lungs.
To do in the lungs. Those are for special situations. Okay? Those are for special situations. So don't be out here puff giving on weed and fucking up your oxygen. And this brother, he don't curse, so that's why I'm glad he's with me. Start anything, alter my mind. Start anything to alter your mind is a negative.
What do you say?
Anything that alters your mind is a negative.
Well,
I don't do weed at all.
Check this out. Now, what's going on is it's a vibratory thing. So
somebody said don't do drugs. Period.
So he said anything that alters your mind. You know, Tahuti. There's Kasi Tahuti being mentioned. Tahuti was a spiritual alchemist, right?
Yeah.
And we're not talking about alchemy as far as changing silver into another base metal.
Right.
We're talking about the spiritual one where you're taking a brain wave and you're dropping that brain wave to go into another brain wave. So this is what they do with the monks. You know, they put the EEG machines, an electric encephalogram.
They asked about
on
cocaine.
Monks. And they was doing meditation, and they found out that these monks was creating new brain waves through meditation. It's going to alter states of consciousness. So there's different ways to do it. You know, chanting, that's what we do, chanting. So we have spiritual nights at the sanctuary that I just sent you here in Brooklyn, where we do chanting, the stimulation of the pineal glands to release certain chemicals within the body. Now the children, that's what we're trying to do, that pure seed, because now their minds is going to be different. Like you said, they should be better. And so we keep doing this. If I have this cure for AIDS and sickle cell anemia, then this person can potentially have the cure for death if they keep going. If we pass on the work like a cell does. A cell passes on information. So as humanoids, beings on this planet, once we learn and master certain things, we pass it on. That way they can already start with it being mastered, and they can take it to
somebody said, are you saying eating and drinking marijuana is better than smoking it? Yes. But what I'm telling y'all now, so me personally, I don't do any type of drugs because I'm naturally, I have 47 ancestral chromosome genes flowing through my body, right? I have 47 personalities that I'm dealing with. And I'm not gonna lie, not everybody gets to meet 20 of theirs. I feel like I have already met all 47 of mine, and I'm doubling up at this point. I felt that. So a person like me, on my vibratory rate and how I think weed would drive me crazy. But I already know because I have a check and balance of who I am. So I don't fuck with weed. I don't fuck with no type of drugs, no nothing altering me, no drinking, none of that. I don't deal with it because of the type of person that I am. But like I said to you before, we had people who had different jobs in ancient times where it was required for them to smoke weed or to drink weed or to eat weed so that they can go into another realm.
I wouldn't even say it was weed how we see it today, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was different things, but drugs were used to alter states of consciousness. If everybody remember that drink that my man, what's Black Panther, the purple heart herb, when he took it and he took him to the ancestral
purple haze.
Remember in Black Panther when they had him sit down and they gave him the drink. Yeah. They gave him the powers of the Black Panther.
And that's the same thing with Keanu Reeves with Matrix, the red pill or blue pill.
Right.
And he took the red pill.
Right. And they got it even in South America. They got ayahuasca.
I did ayahuasca. I hated it. Yes, I did a ayahuasca retreat, and you know what it felt like to me? And people are like, well, how do you know if you never took heroin? Because I've studied heroin because I'm a naturalist. I thought I was on dope. I thought I was on heroin. So and it smelled like heroin to me because y'all know that I've done a lot of years in the Middle East, and I know how heroin smells. Heroin smells like burnt hair. or it smells like burnt hair, or like, you know, hot combed hair. That's what hair. That's what. Or sometimes it smells like a brownie, like a chocolate brownie. Hair on smells like that. So when I went to a ayahuasca retreat, I thought that I was dope. I thought I was a dope fiend. Like, I felt like I was a dope fiend, and I got completely turned off. So, is it safe for me to say that I smoked dope before? Yes, but by accident, because I was actually doing a ayahuasca, and I don't recommend that to people. But I mean, that's just me, my own personal opinion. It's
you know, when they took this, certain people say they could talk to plants.
Yes.
Right? And this is what we're talking about. Everything has a spirit. As an animist, that's what we see, because it's made up of atoms. Atom is energy source, so
that's right.
It vibrates. So there's certain things you can talk to, even in Africa. There's statues and stuff. People don't understand where that stuff was coming from. These were really beings that was existing within these statues, within these pictures, within that they could actually contact.
Now, I want to ask you another question. I know this is a little bit marijuana really helps my anxiety and depression. I want to ask this question because somebody asked earlier and we disregarded them, and they're still here. Somebody said God made Adam and Eve. I want you to touch on this because I often teach about Lilith. I don't know if you know who Lilith is. You do? Okay, good. So see, we on the same. See, these are my. This is family right here. Okay, so what is your? And I'm playing devil's advocate because guys, y'all heard me talk about this already. So I want to hear his take. What is your take on Adam and Eve and Lilith?
There was many different Adam and Eves, the concept. So if the master teacher said when he put out a book, it could be like a big old textbook of Adam and Eve. So the concept of it, if we're dealing with the Bible, these were Adamites, right? These were Caucasian beings that were grafted by a certain extraterrestrial group called the Anunnaki. This was Sumeria, maybe close to 15,000 years ago, right? When you dealing with if we go to Adam with the Bible, that's 3,761 BC. That's what they say. That's even the Levitical Jews. They say this. This is a group of humanoids that were created essentially by this extraterrestrial group to actually mine for gold. They call it Lulu Amilus in the Sumerian or the cuneiform language. So this was a whole nother sect. But then you had different Adam and Eve. So you had the Caucasian side of it. You had the Dravidian, East Indian side of it. You had the Negroid side of it. So it's a different concept. But when we refer to it, they say Adam and Eve, they're talking about the ones of the Bible. These were Hindus, essentially.
Yeah, that's what they just say. They say Adam and Eve, Hindu priests and nuns, their religion. Okay, so what's the difference between Eve and Lilith?
Now, Lilith would have been the
original, right?
The original.
Lucy. No.
The first wife of Adam. Right?
Yes.
And they don't really talk about that, but because nobody sees now the lineage of Lilith, she had her own children, because Lilith had children as well, and then they went off. I think it was like 42 twins. And you know, we were talking about the androgynous beings. You know, everybody. That's why females have two breasts.
Yes.
Because it's talk about twins. They was born twins. That's why you had one to suckle one and the other one, and there was fraternal, right? Yeah. Fraternal twins. So this was like the precursors for life when beings was coming here. All females was producing twins. That's why you see counterparts within Egypt or within ancient African traditions. So these beings, over time, Lilith is not talked about at all within most religious practices because they don't know about her, right? How she goes back. And she was actually an extraterrestrial too. When it goes to the line of the female, Lilith took on, when they saw, have you ever seen a picture of Lilith?
Yep.
She has like she has claws and wings and all this stuff.
Right.
She was a being. So this whole aspect of what you're dealing with when you're talking about Adam and Eve, this was like a science experiment, basically. The only pure humanoid on this planet right now is like anything else is an anomaly or a subspecies. And so with the Adamites, a lot of them were dying off. The Garden of Eden, what they call it, was in Mecca. And so if you go into the Kaaba right now, they have 360 gods that they say that was in. This was when you talk about what do they call the religion? Not voodoo. What's the other one? Yoruba. If they talk about Adudawa, his father Lamurudu, right? They were in Egypt and they took hold of the Kaaba, but Lamurudu was trying to put idols within the Kaaba, and so the Muslims there, they ousted them, and that's when the whole tribe of the Yoruba people, they traveled to Sudan, got kicked out of Sudan, and then they later settled in Nigeria. But what a lot of people didn't know, those idols that he was trying to put up was that these extraterrestrials. That's where you get your cyclops. That's where you get your half man, half goat, your mermaids. These beings were doing science experiments, and they was putting them in the Kaaba. So the Kaaba was like the meeting ground. This is where everybody would take their extraterrestrial experiments, come in and say, hey, we created a cyclops. This has one eye. We created the Bigfoot or the Shaggies, right? We created the Adamites. The Adamites were on display there. And so now the Adamites is an anomaly to the planet. That's why they're dying off right now, because we're coming into a sun cycle. So
yes, we're in the age of Aquarius right now. And this is what I was explaining to you guys. The age of Aquarius is the water bearer age. Now, 2.5 years ago, before the new star was born, because the planet is now ruled by a new star, and it's been ruled by a new star for the last 2.5 years. So a lot of you guys are still under the old star rules, which was the age of Pisces. The age of Pisces represented taboo and secrets. So getting married, not telling your wife that you cheated, not telling people that you're gay, just a whole embarrassment. Basically, those things were held at a high esteem in the age of Pisces. If you do your research on the age of Pisces and that star, you would understand the laws and the personalities of that age. So we've moved forward with the new star, which is the age of Aquarius. The word Aquarius stands for the water bearer. So Aquarius is an air sign. It's not a water sign, because a lot of you people think Aquarius is going along the lines of a Pisces or a Cancer. Now, even a Cancer is even mutable to air and to land and to water. Even though a crab is a water sign, it can come out and walk on Earth. So, but the actual Pisces, reason why I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna go back. The actual age of Pisces, the reason why it was so close is because what is a fish? A fish is only stagnated or mandated to water. If it comes out of water, what does it do? It die, right? So the personality of the age of Aquarius is to be closed, to be secure, to keep your things at bay. Don't let it out, right? Now we're in the age of Aquarius, which is an air sign. Water bearer. Water bearer means someone to let loose water or pour water. When you pour water or when you let loose water, you're telling information. You're giving information. You ever heard your grandmother or your grandmother say, that child can't hold water? Yeah. All they do is gossip. That's a water bearer. So if you guys look at the year 2019, you will know that we are now into the age of Aquarius. Every age is 100 years. So any larceny or any secrets that you have or anything sneaky that you do, you will get caught. You will get caught because of the way that the planet is governed. So it's best, if you're gay, you might as well tell people you're gay. If you're a lesbian, you might as well tell people you're a lesbian. If you're a robber, stealer, thief, a liar, all that shit is gonna be out in the open, whether you like it or not, because of the access and the rulership of the planet at this point in time. Also, Aquarius is the symbol for homosexuality, so it's going to be a whole lot of homosexuality coming out in the next 10-15 years. Right now the star is a baby, but when it becomes fully grown, oh, you're going to see a lot of homosexuality. Things are going to go back the way that they are supposed to.
And when you say that, go back to the way they're supposed to. You talk about water bearing. When a female gets stimulated, she gets...
Hold on, baby. The skin pros to go. Oh Lord, my mom is stuck in the age of Pisces, and I'm going to tell you something. This is very important because I was just researching this and reading about this. Those of you who are stuck in the age of Pisces and don't get in with the new, you're going to die, and you're going to die early of heart attacks, sickness. There's going to be a lot of killing yourselves. You're going to see a lot of suicide get committed within the next 10 to 15 years because there's going to be a lot of people that can't get with the age of Aquarius. Now, if you are a Pisces, a sign of a Pisces, this is off the topic of moon, and a moon doesn't have to agree with me or this or not, but I've been doing this research myself. If you are a Pisces or a Cancer, or what's the other water sign? It's Pisces, Cancer, there's 3 of them. Scorpio, yes. If you're a Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer, it's very important for you, if you get married or you get with somebody or you do business with an air sign. Because if you do business with another water sign, the business is going to crash. You guys are going to be very unhappy. You need to conjoin with a sign that can make you mutable to the planet. See, like in the age of Pisces, people like Libras, like myself, we didn't do good unless we were married to Virgos, or unless we were married to either earth signs or water signs. Libra air signs had to be married to an earth sign or a water sign to actually propel and do well, or had to do business with an earth sign or a water sign. So once you guys learn about astrology, astronomy, and the age and the times, then you'll learn how to make better decisions on your partners, your marriages, your business, and things of that nature. Okay? This is what our government follows astrology. Don't think that the White House does not consult with professional astrologers to make their decisions, because they do. The reason why gay marriages are legal right now is because the government already knows that we're in the age of Aquarius, which is the symbolization of homosexuality. Now, I'm not telling you guys to go out there and become homos, because if you don't have that urge in you to be with the same sex, then it's not right, and it's just as bad as doing it. Like, I know that Cancers and Pisces needs to be with earth signs, air signs, or fire signs. Period. In this age. Now, in the age of Pisces, Pisces on Pisces, Cancer on Cancer, they did very well together. But they can't do very well together and under rulership of this new star. It's just not going to happen. So, get back to what you was teaching. I was just asking a question. I'm sorry.
This is to be building. Listen, it's just where we come in as Sabians, we just fit into the grand scheme of things with natural nature. So, how the sister right here is building, I have to bow down.
Look, we bow down to each other. Isn't this great?
Yeah, definitely.
This, you know what that is? Right? That's the new star. In the age of Pisces, him and me would have been arguing. We'd have been going at it, going back, because it's forbidden. You can't put your religion on somebody or your belief on somebody. But now, 2.5 years, things are changing. Everything is coming into fruition. What Aquarius loves and respects is putting it out there, putting all that shit on the table. Aquarius, if you learn how to put everything out on the table, you're gonna do very well in this age. That's why I want to do project management, because my whole thing is about operations management, logistics, and putting shit out on the table. So anyway, so that concludes. If y'all don't have any questions, that's going to conclude this live. So I'm gonna give y'all a couple of minutes to ask some questions. If not, we're gonna end this live. I'm gonna have this brother tell you his page to follow. Y'all already here on mine. Make sure y'all order y'all soap. Business has been going very well. I worked very hard on that product for you guys. So all of you guys who have ordered from me, I thank y'all. And if y'all have any questions, earth and water is good. Yes, of course, earth and water is good. If y'all they said thank you both. We done talked a lot. Whatever. Okay, so we're not going into astrology. Can you end this off with the importance of being? This is what I want you to end this live off with. One more time. The importance of being in cohesion with homosexuals.
Okay. Well, first off, before I say that, I want everybody to know on September 15th. We got the Harlem Day Parade. That's happening for anybody who's local in the New York area. We got the Harlem Day Parade. The Sabians we're gonna be doing. First and foremost, we're located in Brooklyn, New York, 719 Bushwick Ave. We're gonna be featuring all our different orders. That's the Masonic fraternities that we have. The original Egyptian Masonic order. We have the OES, Order of the Eastern Stars. That's the Sisters. We got different. The 24 elders will be out there. We have different tribes and members of our tribe that's going to be showcasing who and what we are. We are usually the biggest organization when we go to the Harlem Day Parade, big parade. That's September 15th. So you're located here locally. Please get with us. Go to that. And like the sister was building, the whole gist of going live today was the misconcepts of homosexuality. And you see her energy, right? You see how she is. That sister, that female, that black woman is about to take rulership here on this planet. And so getting in tune with that is getting in tune with self. So now what a lot of sisters have to understand and gotta teach, homosexuality has no disbandment. It's not negative. It's a force of nature that is spontaneous, or that's natural to nature. And when it's done correctly, you can see a lot of benefits from it if that's for you. So when we talk about on a spiritual level, you vibrate on both portions. So a person who is homosexual, in our language, muknash tattoo, as a female, or hemorphodite, or hermaphrodite, and a hemorphodite. These people are very spiritual power. These were the oracles back in the day. These were the ones that were taking that will actually govern the tribes as far as what we should do, because they can read and consult what we call the stones. There was, I don't know, y'all might be familiar with like Indiana Jones. They call them the crystal skulls. These are stones. This is what they call paramagnetic frequencies that get emitted by crystals, different stones like the ruby, the onyx, all these different stones, and they can read in this message and take in these vibrations, elements within their body to give messages to the African tribes. Hey, there's about to be a flood. We need to go underneath the planet.
These were the homosexuals.
These
were the homosexuals. They was the hermaphrodites. And also, I want y'all to notice, nature does not compete. Nature only collaborates. Competition is death. Nothing in nature can be into fruition without collaboration. You can't grow grass without putting seed in the dirt. You can't get electricity without putting plug in socket. You can't move a car unless you're putting a key into an ignition. Everything in nature is about collaboration. So if you ever find yourself jealous or competing with someone else, you're not living in life. You're living in death. Okay? They want to know
who was the first on the planet.
Who was the first on the planet? Hermaphrodites.
Yeah, that was we say the Agdor. As you go into ancient Egypt, these were neutered beings. So you have nun tat. First off, when we chant, right, we start off with ye yu nataru, ye natar, ye nun, ye natar, ye nun tat, ye natar, ye amun. These are the names of these 8 beings, what we call the primordial ones, who came here to this planet, and they were reptilians in their form, right, their natural form. But most people, when we teach about them, we say like these were the mermaids. The black race, contrary to popular belief, started within the waters, right? And then we traveled up into what they're calling the Nile Valley, the Okavango swamps, what you call equatorial Africa, and different parts of South Africa. Then traveled up to later seed and plant ourselves within Sudan and create one of the biggest and longest lasting civilizations which you see in the ancient Egyptian culture. So this is where you first started. Now, where we originated essentially was from a whole nother star constellation, a whole nother planet.
Yes.
And that's what's important, because when we call these homosexuals that you're calling, right, that these people call here in the society, they're called gatekeepers.
Yes. Ooh.
And now,
preach. Ooh, I love it. See, this is why I got him on my live, because this little boy, right? I mean, you ain't a little boy, you're a man, but this guy right here, every time I hear him talk, my heart just skips a beat. He's just awesome. He's just fucking awesome. Really, can you suggest good book to read? Okay, go ahead.
I got you. And so they're called gatekeepers. So now there's going to come a point in time where you can't even transition in and out of this dimension unless you're going through this hermaphrodite or this hemorphodite, or what you're calling an androgynous gay person. So when you try to transverse the stars, you notice in the Dendera star map, you had in the center Pataret, there was a deity, and on each 4 cardinal points you had the hemorphodites and hermaphrodites. There were 2 leader beings. There was 8 total. This was showing you that when you read that, when you see that Dendera star map, that was one of the oldest readings. That's where I actually pulled the zodiacs from. That's where the oldest readings of the constellation and star map. It was showing a humanoid, a human being, had to take his soul and ascend back to what they call the Phila Reeds. Or this was looked at, they call it Elysium. The Greeks call it Elysium. The Bible mistranslated as Orenos, or essentially heaven. This is our concept of heaven. You could transverse these physical plane and go back to where you originally held. So there's a book that's about to be dropped. This is one of the first times, called Gateways in the Gardens. We haven't released it yet. It was authored by Dr. York, of course. It hasn't been released for close to 10-15 years.
How was African race originated? We told y'all this. Okay, so True Peace 999. I'm gonna let him tell you this one more time, but he's been talking about this. He said it's the Son Nigga TV. No, we don't.
No, listen. You know, now this is for everybody too. We're not known as Noapians anymore. We're not known as Noapians. We're Sabians. Noapians is a whole nother entity. It's a whole nother organization. Now we're known as Sabians, coming from Saba, the star, the Sirius star constellation, Sirius and Orion, going back to there. So no. I don't know. But
he said, how was the African race originated? So we've been answering that question the whole lot, but can you answer that one more time for them?
Yeah,
the African race originated.
The African race, essentially, they got what they call it's a cave in Africa, and they call it the Cave of Swimmers. In this cave is some of the earliest depictions left by humanoids, and it was of African, and they were swimming with whales, and they had fins, so it was looking like a mermaid right? And they were swimming with the dolphins. Now, if you know anything about the dolphin is one of the most intelligent creatures on this planet. Right?
Most intelligent.
And they speak through sonar, right? Or vibratory frequencies that they shoot within the water. So now if you put the camera on my sister right here, this is my beautiful wife. She has dot, or what they call, the East Indians call it a
show them
bindi.
your dot. They can't see you.
We call this a miptard, right? Now, a lot of people be like, oh, sis, you know, why are you trying to be like the Indians? It's ignorance, right? They don't know that this is actually an African. You see, like, a lot of Africans, they wear that dot. Now, it was also symbolic when that Parea, or that pharaoh, took on rulership. You saw him with a snake. He took that snake. That was to symbolize that his third eye was open. This was the intercession of God manifested to a human on earth. No pharaoh had the extraterrestrial bloodline, right? So they wear the dot. It's symbolic of the pineal gland. This is a gland that when we were in the water, we used to speak. Now, being that we're coming out and we're on land, where it's vestigial, it's maimed, for lack of a better word.
Hold on, and I want to tell y'all something. First of all, Nuwaubian is not a religion. Sabian is not a religion. It's a culture. It's a people. Okay, just like Jews are not a religion. Jews are saying that they're Jews or Jewish, or Israelites are calling themselves. Israelites are religion, but Nuwaubian is a culture. It's how the way that you do your hair, the way that your voice box sound, the color of your skin. That's what Nuwaubian, aka Sabian, signifies. It doesn't signify religion. We only got 2 minutes left, and then Instagram is gonna cut this off. I don't know if I can save it because it's been an hour, but I'll try to. Let me end it now, and I'll try to save it. If I can, I'm sorry.